What up, what up? This is KoKo, aka KoKo. Welcome back to another episode of Spooky Macaronis. We're going to be watching today some spooky videos, and sorry about the late stream, but I'll explain to you guys in a little bit what happened. But before we do that, let's go ahead and hit that intro, and the stream will be starting soon. So let's go ahead and hit that intro. So hit it. KoKo Banana. Part 3 with another KoKo Banana Productions presents a spooky KoKo Banana. What up, boys and girls? Sorry for the late stream. So, long story short, I'm not gonna give you guys the long story, but I left work. Ended up getting called back. Had to take care of some stuff. My boss is not gonna be here next week, so I ended up getting called back then to help out with this project we're working on, and I ended up getting home late. So let's just put it that way. I didn't even get to eat yet, but that's neither here or there. That's better for me if I don't eat tonight. So let's get right into it. I do have a couple of spooky stories to share with you guys, as you guys know when we watch these videos, and I'll be telling you guys this after each video is done and whatnot. So without further ado, this is a new video that was posted on Chill's site. Chill's always got some good shit, but we're also gonna watch stuff from Top Ham. Top Ham has also good stuff. So let's get things started. These are apparently new videos. I have not watched these yet, so let's go ahead and enjoy them. Make sure you guys have headphones on. Make sure you guys have the lights off. Make sure you guys have your popcorn, have everything ready, and let's get right into it. Just gotta do one more thing before I get things started, only because I don't think I sent out the notification through here. Bam, Instagram is sent. Alright, let's go. Let's get right into it.
Plenty of things happen in the world every day that defy all explanations. From floating cities to demonic wall stains, no one has been able to fully explain.
Top 10 also
scary
uploaded a new video.
videos.
So
Number
let's see.
11. This homeowner in Montgomery, Texas catches a stranger in distress on their doorbell cam. It's about 3 in the morning when a woman frantically rings the bell at the Sunrise Ranch subdivision.
Moto Instant Uganda and Nani.
You'll notice what could be shackles dangling from both of her arms,
Shackles.
suggesting this person could have been taken captive and recently freed themselves. The sheriff's department is worried that this woman may have been running for her life and trying to get help from the nearest
Congratulations,
home.
Ultra Instinct.
Police released this video in August of 2018, hoping for anonymous tips, but so far no one has come forward with any explanation.
That'd be creepy seeing a girl late at night. I mean, she look alright, but
that fateful night, no one can say for sure. Number 10. A man is keeping an eye on his 2 daughters when he notices a third child watching them from the doorway. The man quickly goes to check on his kids.
Yeah, that's why I don't like little kids, man. Little kids be creepy as
There's
fuck.
absolutely no one standing in the doorway watching them from behind the kid's gate. Satisfied that everyone is safe, the father returns to the other room and checks the baby monitor again. Sure enough, the figure is standing in the exact same spot as if it never left. And this time you can clearly see one of the children looking straight at it. Apparently this house was built in the 1940s, and the family sees this kind of thing quite often, which would explain why the father remains.
That's why I don't like little kids' ghosts, man. That shit's creepy as fuck.
Number 9. This 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck Japan years ago. Earthquakes are common in this part of the world, but what happens next is not.
In the distance among the swaying buildings, a bright glow in the night sky.
The fuck?
Possibly what scientists call an earthquake light.
A bright light
Earthquake
burns
light
intensely over the city for nearly 10 full seconds before extinguishing.
You guys ever heard about the little kids with the black eyes?
Appears to have caused
When they show up late at night in your house and you're not supposed to open the door? And they knock on your door, you're not supposed to open the door to these little kids with the black eyes.
Any other kind of equipment. Scientists have documented this type of phenomenon before, known only as earthquake lights, but they don't know what causes them.
It has to be something you like, Ultra
They occur in
Instinct.
less than 1% of earthquakes and have been reported for hundreds of years.
What, the little kids with the black eyes?
Exist, but a real explanation has never been proven.
I'll tell you guys right now in a little bit. You've never seen those videos?
Light show that witnesses will never forget.
Or earthquake light? Yeah, I'm not sure. some phenomena.
He has forged a spiritual connection with an extraterrestrial. He sets up a camera to demonstrate his capabilities.
Well, I'll tell you guys in a little bit about that.
Beings in the sky come to me, give me a sign, help me advance to a higher level of consciousness, let me see you.
Less than 10 minutes later, he and his team spot a foreign white square twisting in the wind. This is what he affectionately refers to as a flying carpet, as it's apparently just one of the many regular visitors he receives from the sky. Whatever this square-shaped object is,
I'll tell you right now.
Absolutely huge to be visible from this far away.
Talking about the whole eyes. The whole eyes are black, not just
Overall,
the pupil.
No one can say for sure if this is a real encounter or a mere coincidence.
The pupil.
If Fausto is wrong about this extraterrestrial sighting, then I have no idea what it could actually.
I thought this motherfucker was gonna get shit on his face. I'm sorry.
At first glance, this video looks like an ordinary city surrounded by either pollution or fog. But that's not even close to what's really happening here.
This happens a lot in China.
Citizens of a Chinese city called
Ultra Instant, this is your area.
To find an exact mirror image of their own city hovering over the horizon.
Pupils, yeah, the pupils.
This video
no, not the pupils.
Seaport, which means this mirror city is actually floating on the water. I highly doubt this is a real city.
Does this happen a lot in China, Ultra Instinct?
With that said, it's not an optical illusion called the Fata Morgana's effect, because as far as I know, that should only affect things that are physically in the water. I have been unable to find a scientific explanation for this event.
Please tell me that does happen a lot in China.
Share your own theory. Number 6. Chad Beauchamra and his family are enjoying themselves on Lake Michigan when
that looks real, yeah. That happens a lot in China apparently. It doesn't happen in China a lot?
Wow, that is so wild. The long tube-like cloud stretches on for miles, making a creepy twisted motion as it moves on. Scientists have named this a morning glory cloud because they do not have a strong
grasp Hong Kong and China though?
Or how it exists. The few people who have seen morning glory clouds often describe feeling incredibly small and unimportant.
Is it in Hong Kong and China?
A feeling that stays with them for a long time. What causes this remains a mystery. Number 5. Paranormal investigators, specialists, and other field researchers have been trying to explain the Hestalian lights in Norway for decades. These mysterious lights have been observed by residents since the early 80s. Though sightings have decreased in recent years, these lights still randomly appear from time to time and have attracted many followers. As you can see here, they look like small balls of light in broad daylight with no discernible source. Scientists think that this could be
what up, Clank?
Gas bubbles mixing with humid air, though they
have not
been able to prove this. Other researchers believe this could be a UFO.
Have you guys ever seen some UFOs when y'all were little kids? So for whatever reason, I used to always watch see UFOs in the sky when I was a kid.
Adventures of Zach and B is sure that a wild animal is in his attic. It's dark up there, so he takes the camera with him for light. The noise coming from his attic is unlike anything I've ever heard before.
This one I like houses with attic.
Sounds like a baleful combination of scratching, growling, and howling.
Scratching and growling. Listen, if I was to hear some shit in the house,
and I really can't blame him.
I would never go and check.
For him, it sounds like something follows him on the way out.
Well, I don't see anything, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
You heard that? It says, "Don't get out of here."
Also says, "Get out of here too." Obviously, this is a real human voice, not an animal after all. And whoever was making the noise remains a mystery.
You hear that? He said, "Don't
get out of here." This is a phenomenon known as angel hair, in which strands of silk-like threads fall to the ground for several hours at a time. Scientists have tried to explain this as certain species of spiders migrating.
Alright, so really quick before we continue with the video. Alright, so if you've never heard about these are little kids. The thing I was telling you earlier, these are little kids who their eyes are completely black. Completely black. And supposedly these entities take the form of little kids. And what they tend to do, they tend up showing up at your house, at your doorstep. They can't go inside of your house unless you invite them. But the whole thing behind it is is that they knock on your door at unexpected hours, usually like around 12, 1 a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning. They'll show up just unexpectedly. You, as any person, compassionate person, might think, okay, this is a little kid. I have to help them out. I gotta call the police. So there's videos of them online of what they are and whatnot. Most people speculate that they're demons. Most people speculate that they're ghosts. But there was one incident that happened with a friend of mine's from a previous job where I used to work upstate. So I used to work upstate in Buffalo at one point before I used to live here in New York City. And now upstate is a little bit different because you have your urban area, you have the big buildings and whatnot. I will do my boy Ultra Instinct. I did not forget about your birthday, February 22nd. Getting back to the story. So when I used to live upstate, you had pretty much a lot of areas that were forested, and you know, you would go in and you could get lost, especially at night because there's no lights. Some areas are not that developed, but you do have the city where, you know, obviously you have the big buildings and whatnot. So my boy had a cabin that was part of his families, because you know, most of these families upstate, they own land, they own locations where they can actually go and you know, have their land pretty much like within their family that gets passed on generation to generation. So they had this cabin where we were gonna go and, you know, go fishing, go hunting, nothing too crazy. We're just gonna go spend the weekend there. So it was gonna be me, him, his wife, and another co-worker of mine's. They were trying to hook us up. So the whole point of going this weekend was pretty much to go hook us up, me and my other female co-worker. Little did we know we were gonna get caught up with some bullshit. And you know, I didn't get to see what happened because I'm gonna be quite honest with you, I was taking a shower and I pretty much got told what happened. I thought at first it was like a joke, it was like some bullshit, but then it affected my boy's wife's health that night, and it was kind of creepy to see that happening. So pretty much what was told to me was that we were all hanging out. They were setting up. My boy was cutting out logs of wood outside. It was still light outside. It wasn't dark. But in the forest, what happens is, and I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, as soon as the sun starts setting down, everything gets dark really quick. Like you can't see anything unless you have a flashlight. So anyways, he cutting off logs of wood and he brought them inside. We were gonna do a fire, use them in the chimney and whatnot. So he comes in, he locks the doors and whatnot. His dog was outside. Obviously, you know, it wasn't cold or anything like that. And, you know, all of a sudden, you know, we're in the house. And even I experienced this because, mind you, I was taking a hot shower, right? I was taking a hot shower. I filled up the tub and I was just laying back. Because his freaking, for whatever reason, his cabins were a little bit modern. They had like jet streams and whatnot. Anyways, I was relaxing in the tub. The windows were closed and whatnot. Out of nowhere, at least from what I experienced, a cold front, I guess, took over the area. Mind you, I'm in the hot ass water, and the windows were closed, and I started breathing. So you know, I'm breathing as regular. All of a sudden, you just see like my hot air coming out of my mouth, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like the windows are closed. So I turn around from the tub. And I'm like, the windows is closed. What the hell? And all of a sudden, you see the trees move. So, you know, obviously, it's late at night. You're not thinking anything bad. The trees are moving. There's, like, wind outside. And you're like, what the fuck? The windows is closed. I'm like, how the fuck the temperature dropped so quickly? Mind you, I'm still in the tub. I didn't see what happened. But this is pretty much what was explained to me. Apparently, around 12 o'clock at night, midnight, somebody comes up to the cabin and they start knocking on the door. And my boy, you know, is putting the logs on the chimney, and he's telling everybody else, you know, it's gonna be a cold night apparently because all of a sudden the temperature dropped. My other female co-worker is in the kitchen, I guess, making a snack for us and whatnot. His wife is watching TV in the living room, and he's setting up the chimney. So he gets up, he goes check you know, the thing. He doesn't open the door. He peeps through the window hole, and he doesn't see anything. So he's like, what the hell? So he goes to the side of the door, he peeps out the window, and he's like, nothing. Mind you, the cabin, everything is made out of wood, but there's really small windows that you can get through. It's just to peep out and see, you know, the front of your cabin. There's nobody there, so he's like, huh, maybe it was just the wind that made the, you know, because there's this little thing in front of the door that says welcome or whatever, and it's made out of wood too. So maybe we thought maybe the wind took it and just made it flap back and forth. We didn't think anything of it. Me in the bathroom, in the meantime, I hear the knock. So I'm like, who the hell could it be at this time? In my head, if I heard it, it must have been that loud that in my head I'm like, okay, maybe it's nothing out of the ordinary. So they come and they knock on the door again. This time, like, I hear it and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, okay, who the fuck could it be at this time? So I let the water run out. I get up, I finish showering, and I'm getting out to get, you know, get dressed and whatnot. All of a sudden, I hear a loud scream. So I'm telling both points of the story, my point of perspective, and then what was told to me afterwards. So I hear a loud scream. So during that time, all of a sudden, I hear everybody barge in. I see everybody barge into the bathroom. I wasn't naked, obviously, I was covered. I see everybody barge into the bathroom. They close the door to the bathroom, and then we all just stay inside of the bathroom. And the lights go off. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And what I will explain to you afterwards what's happening. Chupapito friends, that as you're gonna ruin the moment. So, going back to their side of the story, what happens is on the second knock on the door, right? My boy goes up to the door and he opens the eye hole, and he sees this little kid in white robes. The little kid is mad pale. He has medium long hair. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. But then their eyes are not the pupils, the whole eyeball, the whole thing, completely pitch black. And he asks the little kid, what do you want? Are you lost? Where are your parents? What are you doing here at this time? Whatever the hell it was, it tells my coworker, hey, it's cold out here. Let me in. He says, it's cold out here. Please, let me in. So, what up, bros? Welcome to the stream. So, at that point, right, if it's 12 o'clock at night, it is true. This is what they told me. And I put 2 and 2 together afterwards, and I couldn't explain what the hell was going on. I didn't get to see it. I thought it was a joke that they were trying to play on me. I did see something afterwards, but I'm gonna tell you guys what I saw, and then I couldn't explain. So what ended up happening is, if a little kid at 12 o'clock at night comes through, right, white robes, medium white hair, black eyeballs, they look semi-dirty, and they tell you, please let me in, it's cold out here, what are you gonna do? So his girlfriend goes and says, go honey, open the door. She grabs the door, about to opening it, apparently. This is what my boy's telling me, and he says, no, wait a minute, something is not right here. Why would there be a little kid this late at night outside in the cold? What's up with his eyes? What is up with his eyes? Why do they look so dark? So he's like, little kid, what is your name? Where did you come from? I need to know who you are before I open the door, and what's wrong with your eyes? And he tells me, the little kid just looks at him and he starts smiling at him. He's like, nothing's wrong with me. I just need a place to stay. Open the door. He's like, I need your name. What is your name? And he's just smiling at him. He just starts giggling. He's like, open the door, please. And he's like, no, I'm not going to open the door until you give me your name. And the little kid's like, okay. He starts backing away from the door, apparently. He starts walking towards the back of the cabin. Now, remember, there's still a dog outside. The dog is barking like a motherfucker. There's a door in the back of the cabin, and then in the back of the cabin, there is a little hole at the bottom of the holes for the dogs and whatnot. Tiago, mi amigo, bienvenido. En febrero sale el juego, el remastered. So vamos a jugar en febrero, Jack and Dexter. La mitad de febrero. So, you know, mind you, I'm still in the bathroom. I'm getting changed, and I'm yelling, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, "Hey guys, like, is everything alright downstairs?" Like, I heard a scream. Apparently, that was the scream from his wife. And apparently she flipped out, because if you see a little kid with black eyes, his eyes are completely black. He's standing outside the door. It's 12 o'clock at night. I wouldn't open the door. Personally, I wouldn't open the door. So the little kid starts walking around the cabin. No, he didn't come inside of the thing. The thing is, there's another door that covers that door that leads to the outside with the dog hole. So my boy's like, okay, you know what? Our dog is still outside. I don't feel safe with the dog being outside. So my boy rushes outside, and he grabs the dog. They both start running towards the house, and the little kid is just walking around the cabin, taking his sweet ass time. And this is what he tells me, which I don't understand. There's a whole bunch of trees outside. For whatever reason, this little boy, he's walking through the trees. That's the best way he explained to me. He's walking through the trees around the cabin, and he's just smiling in the dark. Gracias, Tiago. Gracias. So he's walking through the trees, and he's just smiling. It's late at night, right? The only light we have at this point is the moonlight. Mind you, at this point, there's no lights in the cabin. We only had our flashlights. And cuídate, mi amigo. What you want? And the little kid is smiling the whole time while he's walking towards the freaking towards them, because he went to grab the dog, and he's just smiling like him, like he's just smiling at him with his black eyes. So I get out of the bathroom, and I peep out of the bathroom, because I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna go downstairs. If I heard screams, I peep out of the bathroom, and I'm like, guys, what the hell is going on? Are you guys okay? Please tell me if you guys are okay. My other coworker, the female, she goes, "Please come down here quick. Something's going on. Somebody's at the door. They're trying to get in, and we don't know what to do. The phones are not working. The lights are off." And I'm like, I noticed the lights are off. I noticed everything is off, but what the hell is going on? Like, I take out my cell phone, right? Weirdest thing. I had no signal. The apps weren't working. My flashlight wouldn't turn on. And we're like, what the hell? So, back to the story downstairs. At that point, I don't know what's going on. So me, from my perspective, I didn't think anything of it. All in my head I'm thinking is the lights went off, the power went off. Maybe they're trying to work it out or get something getting done. So my coworker tells me that he pretty much grabs the dog. The little kid's walking towards them. He gets inside the house. Apparently the way it works is if you don't invite these things inside of your house, they won't walk in. They won't come in. Even if you open the door for them, obviously you're inviting them in. But other than that, they can't go in by themselves. So they get inside the house. She's screaming, "Close the door, close the door." I see it walking around the house towards the back. Close the door, close the door. They close the first door. And my female coworker, the other one, she's like, "Wouldn't it be able to get in through that one hole at the bottom?" He's like, yeah, close the secondary door. So they close the secondary door. This thing reaches in. So there's a little sliver in the secondary door. That's where you throw the mail in. So the mailman, when they get there, very rarely, they have to put their hand through the dog hole and then in through the mail hole, and they drop the mail through there. He's like, "Guys, please, it's cold outside. Let me in." That part I heard, and I was like, at this point, I'm thinking they're playing a prank on me. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing downstairs? Like, what the hell is that noise? Apparently, they said they locked everything up, right? All they see is a pale white little hand through the sliver of the mail hole going like this. "Guys, let me in, please. It's cold out here." And then he like, they're like, "What the hell?" And then the little hand's like giggling, like, "I'm gonna call my friends. We're gonna come visit you guys." And then he pulls the hand out. I didn't see that part, but that's what my friend is telling me. But I did hear a little voice saying things like that, like, "Let me in," and giggling. I'm thinking it's my female coworker. So at this point, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna peep out of the window. I'm not going downstairs. I'm like, you know what? You guys are playing too much. I stay in the bathroom. I get to the corner of the freaking bathroom, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna chill right here. I'm like, something doesn't feel right. At this point, I'm feeling it's not a prank. I'm like, something does not feel right. It's really cold when it shouldn't be cold. And then my boys pretty much tell me, like, you know, get down here. Get down here. We need you down here right now in case something happens. We all need to be together. And I'm like, I'm not going downstairs until you tell me what's going on. And then the wife keeps yelling, like, there's something outside trying to get in, but it hasn't gotten in yet. And I'm like, but what is it? What is that you see outside? And they were like, and this is when I got freaked out. So imagine being upstairs, you don't know what the fuck is going on. They tell you there's a little kid with black eyes, giggling, trying to get inside of the house. We're miles away from civilization. We're in the cabin in the freaking woods. No phones, no lights, cold as fuck. Not being able to explain what the hell is going on. So apparently the little kid is walking around the house. It goes back to the front of the house again. And the wife starts yelling and she starts praying. She starts praying, and all of a sudden you hear like growling outside. You hear growling outside of the door. And like laughing, but like kind of like taunting. Like something like that. Because I heard it too. I remember hearing it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? She's praying apparently. And then all of a sudden you hear, imagine hearing a little kid crying, like in a loud cry. Like, and I'm like, what? So I'm in the bathroom like, what the fuck is going on? All of a sudden I hear like somebody throwing up. Somebody throwing up really bad, like throwing up. So I'm upstairs and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I hear footsteps rushing up the freaking stairway. At this point, I'm like, oh my lord. So I couldn't find anything else to defend myself. I grabbed the thing that you use to clean the toilet, because it was the only thing that was solid, made out of metal. And I'm like holding it, waiting by the door, like, what the fuck? At this point, whatever the fuck it is, I'm gonna hit it. It's my boy, his wife, and my other female coworker. His wife was pale as fuck, throwing up foam. This thing outside is still crying. She's throwing up foam. She comes in. My boy puts her in the tub. She's throwing up in the tub foam, and she's like pale as hell. And she's like disoriented. She's disoriented. Remember, we have moonlight, and that was the only light that was coming through the house. So then he puts her in the tub. She's throwing up foam. Whatever's outside is still crying, whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? My boy's like, I'll explain to you later. There's something outside knocking on the door. It has black eyes. I don't know if it's a little kid, if it's a person. I don't know. They're knocking on the door. They're not getting inside the house. Close the door. Throwing up foam. Like she had nothing to throw up. She was throwing up foam. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So they close the door of the bathroom. We're all stuck in the bathroom at this point. All of a sudden we just hear the doors like rattling, trying to get in. But remember, at this point, they can't get inside of the house. If they wanted to, you know, they could have broken the windows. They could have gone in through another place. So eventually what ended up happening is, out of nowhere, right? My other coworker, she starts praying, because I see her going like this. She's just whispering in her mind. She's just whispering. The freaking lights turn back on. The temperature goes back to normal. And we're all just like looking at each other. His wife, out of nowhere, she goes back to her normal color. She stops throwing up. And then we're all just looking at each other. And I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, please tell me this was a prank. Like, what the hell happened? And then, you know, they narrate and they tell me the whole story. The next morning, we didn't go to sleep. We stayed up the whole night. We had a whole bunch of logs to burn. We put them in there. We all stayed in the living room. We all grabbed like a weapon or something, and we stayed in the living room the whole night. We didn't go to sleep. His wife was traumatized. She was like trembling the whole night. We all looked at each other. We did not speak. It was the most awkward situation and moment, I guess, of me going camping. Nobody spoke that night. Nobody said anything. What they explained to me left me shook that night. That the next morning, what we ended up doing, even in the morning once the light came out, we did not look around. We pretty much booked it out of there. We got all our stuff. We went to spend time in our hotel. We did not go back. We did not go back to the cabin. So when we went back to the hotel, long story short, we told one of the bellboys what happened, and they said, oh yeah, it's sometimes little kids with black eyes tend to show up around town, even out here too. And if they knock on your door, please make sure you don't open them. They sometimes tend to walk around the halls of the hotel as well, but they appear anywhere. At that point, I'm like, what the fuck? We're not even safe in the hotel. When I got back to the city, I didn't know what to think. At that point, I was like, you know what? Hopefully, I get to tell this story to people one day. And actually, I got to be able to tell you guys. So, again, if for whatever reason you see a little kid come to your door late at night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 3 o'clock in the morning, and they have black eyes, don't open the door. Do not open the door. Whatever the fuck it is, you do not want to let it inside of your house. What up, Ultra Instinct? Alright, let's continue with the video.
Though I don't see any spiders in this video at all, stranger still, angel hair has been reported falling in areas that are freezing and have snow. If this really is due to spiders, then shouldn't there be activity in colder areas? Number 2. No one knows what these strange gel clumps are made of. But
what does that look like, though?
Star jelly.
Chill. This motherfucker's grabbing KoKo Bananas juice or Chupapito's Ferns juice. You know what that is.
Star jelly has been collected from all around the world, from Europe to North America.
Star jelly, that's what they're calling it, star jelly? It is creepy. I'm just glad I didn't get to see whatever the fuck that was. I'm just glad I was in the bathroom that whole time. That was the one time I didn't get to see anything. Star jelly. It's called alien jizz.
Now they think this might be some kind of unique.
Yeah, you imagine somebody knocking on your door. You just don't open the doors.
There's just not enough evidence to know for sure. Worst of all, we don't know what kind of long-term health effects this substance carries, if any. In the meantime,
I wouldn't touch that shit if I see something.
Star jelly in
fuck no.
Places like their front yards, and nobody understands what any of it means.
I know Chupapito first was gonna say something. I knew it.
Neighborhoods all over the world.
I bet.
Sounds like it could be anything good. Before we get
KoKo, the same as the wife happened to me. I was eating hot pot when I got paid as fuck. My mom told me was white just white, but I didn't barf until my mom did barf.
Go to my Instagram
somebody disliked, somebody who was probably scared.
And tap that follow button to find out.
You're probably the bastard. Probably.
Music video for my song Dreamland.
That's probably LR bitch.
That generosity makes you
probably can't handle telling a scary story.
A man named Simon Marshall is shining a flashlight around his room when he highlights a small smear on the wall that makes him feel strange. He looks closer and sees that the smear strongly resembles a face that is looking down into the right.
I don't know. Clank wouldn't do that. I don't think Rose would probably leave it this like.
A nose and mouth as well as a large ear and one eye, almost like its head is turned to one side. Tell me if you can see what Simon is talking about here.
On, facing the carpet, about a foot off the ground. As soon as the flashlight dimmed,
I don't mind who disliked. At this point, like I said, it's fine. I just wanted to have some spooky macaronis with you guys.
Simon is convinced that the physical representation of a demon has been following him for years.
That's why I don't fuck with those shits.
That these orbs taken from a CCTV system is further evidence.
Anything paranormal that's beyond my understanding, I don't like fucking with.
Is slim because it somehow keeps getting deleted. What little footage remains has been shared across the world by paranormal investigators, though no clear explanation has ever been given. As such, it continues to be a point of paranormal debate to this day. The following scary leaked videos were never meant to be viewed by the public. With that said,
scary leaked videos.
Analyze these videos and decide if they are an elaborate hoax or truly something.
Let's check that one out. We have not seen this one. That would be creepy, seeing things in your blind. Oh, that's scary. Oh, the President of the United States. I'm sorry, guys. I got really shook right there. I just saw a man with a wig talking about. Stop.
Leaked videos were never meant to be viewed by the public. With that said, my goal is to analyze these videos and decide if they are an elaborate hoax or truly something.
And I'll tell you guys another story later on about that my dad told me that happened to him when he was a kid.
This aerial video was allegedly taken 70 years ago. If this is to be believed,
I don't find it scary. How am I not scared? Wow, you don't find what scary? The old man?
Era. As you can see,
it was a joke. That's the president of the United States. If you don't know who Donald Trump is, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Strange chemical mixture quickly forms into a dense cloud wall that hovers over the ocean. This video definitely looks like it could be real. It does not have sound, which makes sense since cameras couldn't record.
I think these are just videos you're not supposed to see. Ooh, wait a minute. There's some scary shit in this video. There's some scary shit in this video. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna let it roll.
This reportedly leaked video appears to be taken in a
it wasn't. But we're gonna keep watching. Like I said, I'm just randomly googling these videos.
Biohazard gear examine a colossal footprint.
Yo, that looks creepy. Doesn't have to scare you. It just has to, like, you know, it just has to be creepy. I'm pretty much looking at videos that are weird that we can't explain.
If there was a series
Jay Xanax, what up? What up, my boy? What do you mean why? We're doing this once a Friday, my boy. Jay Xanax, we're doing this once a Friday. We don't do this every day.
This leaked video is reportedly taken by two friends somewhere in the United States.
Oh shit! Listen, this is pretty much my way to get together with all of us and just to watch scary shit and just bullshit and just hang out. Just nothing out of the ordinary, my boy.
Their dog Jake starts to bark with excitement and really doesn't seem to want to go any further. Watch how the animal.
Oh, Jaden. What up, Jaden?
Snowmobile multiple times.
You mean Wolf?
Almost like he's warning them to stop and turn around.
See, this is why I don't like forests. When it's late at night, I wouldn't fuck around with forest areas.
Friends don't really think much of it and keep going straight, and that's when they come face to face with it. A nearby
my lord!
Sends them racing away.
If I was to see that late at night, what the fuck that looks like? You can see two eyes. See, this is why I don't like forest areas, because some bullshit like that could happen, and then it's like, what can you do? You're in the middle of nowhere.
The alien-like creature doesn't make much of a sound at all, or at least
something
not
just
one
standing
that the
there.
Can pick up. But I do think I can see its head
turn
towards them at the 2-minute and 20-second mark. The way the dog is acting before this happens also makes me believe this leaked video could be real.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with something like that.
Act aggressively at all. So either the animal is
wow, what is that?
Or this thing is not actually a threat.
But what up, Jaden? What you been up to, my boy?
This is real or not. So I would like to get your opinion to help me decide. Number 9. This elevator video from 2012 was taken late at night at an undisclosed location. The space is completely empty until a woman with long dark hair and a dirty nightgown with her head down. She stands in place for less than 10 seconds before the security camera suddenly glitches out and shuts off. 2 months later,
see that shit?
Was leaked to the public and posted online. This leaked video might be fake because it almost looks like a stereotypical
even if it's fake,
Then again, as CCTV cameras
I still wouldn't fuck with something like that.
Quality, it would only make sense for the spirits to show more detail as well. Number 8. This giant sky disturbance over Japan was captured on multiple cameras in 2013, so there's little doubt that it is real.
I wouldn't fuck with that. Fucking long-haired female.
What caused it? I think that this was most likely a comet, but others claim this is clearly a failed Russian.
Let me see if there's anything else in the video before we even move on, because there's some other stuff we need to see.
You can see how the comet becomes very bright as it hits Earth's atmosphere and then fizzles out quickly.
I'll tell you guys another story in the meantime.
Definitely see how people would think this was a UFO blast.
Let me see. There is this one, scary videos that can't be explained. There was something I saw here. Ghost hunters. Wait a minute. 5 scary things caught on camera. Ghost hunters. I think we might do Nuke's top 5. This looks like a new one. Oh my lord, this fucking guy, I swear. I don't give a fuck about your bullshit.
Top 5 scary things caught on camera. Urban exploration. Window creeper.
I hate things that pop out.
Boys are exploring an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere.
I always hate when things pop out.
Something down a hallway and decides to go investigate.
Yeah, let's go. Before you walk down.
I hate things that pop out and just creep on you because I wouldn't go in there. I would not go in there. If I see something pop out looking at me in the middle of nowhere, would you go inside of a house that you didn't know?
When the boy comes back, he's a little shaken up, claiming that he thinks he saw someone at the window.
This is really scary. Yeah. It's not even a window.
What?
It's a window.
What?
There's someone who's at the window. Someone was at the window.
It's
gone really bright now. Is the window after all?
No, it's the same.
I didn't see anything.
The original post said that they thought a ghost had closed the window. Now, based on their very authentic reactions, I would say that this video is real. But I would also say that this was not a ghost. My guess is that it was something even creepier. A real person skulking.
I'm gonna check that one out in the tunnels.
And quietly watching them. But
why would you go inside of a fucking house? I'm gonna check that one out. 5 scary things caught on camera in tunnels.
It's the same.
Unwelcome visitors.
I made them myself, Jaden.
Orlando Leon and his friends are
I'm gonna make a tutorial this weekend on how I do them.
Department store when something very unexpected happens.
I use Photoshop, but if you don't have Photoshop, there's a free program you can use online.
He catches the entire event on camera.
What the f are you doing in here? This is trespassing. Can we help you? Huh? No, this is not abandoned. Do you see the fences? Do you see the property structures around?
We came into the side, so we didn't see anything.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be coming through at all, right?
Alright.
Alright, let's lock your out. Go.
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, you guys got $10 before I call the cops?
No, we're broke.
Yeah. Come on.
You guys live here?
You guys can get out of here. Yeah, well, we do dirty property.
Oh my god. Jaden is, I think Jaden, you are one of the moderators for LR, right? LR Flame, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, you don't have to be
He is,
Sherlock
but
Holmes to see that the two sketchy guys
don't worry about it at this point.
Are not the property owners.
So some sketchy shit must have been going on there because
Camera, and he's filthy. In fact, his clothes are so dirty that you can actually see the dirt in the dark. Second, the man behind them, whom we never see on camera, actually asks the boys for $10, then lets it slip that the two men are living inside the abandoned building.
Huh.
Hey, by the way, you guys got $10 before I call the cops?
No.
Says you want to give us $10 before we call the cops. This is why it's not good to go to abandoned places, because aside from there being spooky shit, there's people living there.
And finally, the two men don't even know the way back out of the building.
So which way is the way out?
I don't know. Which way did you come in?
The boys make it out completely okay and meet up with their friends. But this was definitely a scary
This is why you never go inside of places that you don't know, because
watch your step. This next video is by a popular YouTube urban explorer and ghost hunter called The Fam. Now it should be noted that The Fam
but what up, Jaden? You still there?
and therefore relies on his camera to help him find his way around. While exploring a hospital that is said to be haunted, The Fam says he experienced several creepy occurrences.
Oh man, this place is so freaking creepy. Oh,
I gotta fix my overlays, by the way, so I'm gonna see if I work on them.
Ghostly encounters here. You can check out the Fam's channel to see his
you saw that?
video and make up your own mind on the spooky stuff. But it turns out that the abandoned hospital had experienced some minor flooding.
Chill, that's creepy.
What? No! What? The roof is flooded. Oh man.
That is creepy. I wouldn't go in.
The scariest incident of all didn't involve any ghosts or spirits.
Oh my lord, the fucking commercials always mess things up.
we gonna take that bunker if Private Lewis? What?
Now, in accordance with YouTube's family-friendly content guidelines, let me say before this clip that James was in no way seriously injured.
Oh my god. Oh.
How the fuck he hurt himself?
What the oh. Oh. Oh, guys. Oh.
How the fuck did he injure himself?
It's not good, guys. I just fell in a hole. And I just broke my camera. And I just skinned myself up. Look at this. Look at this freaking... How the hell? There was like a board across here and I stepped in it. I went straight down, guys. I don't even find a bottom to that. This whole leg all the way up to here went in here.
This is why I always look down before I walk anywhere. Especially late at night. You don't know what the fuck is out there.
Camera. Oh, so wet. Guys, I don't know what I did with my camera, but it's all busted up.
Late at night in an abandoned building.
This ain't good, guys.
See, I don't... How somebody grow a pair of balls and do some shit like that?
My leg is on fire right now. My elbow is on fire.
Yeah, you busted your shit.
That was gone wrong for sure. I gotta get cleaned up, guys. That water looks super nasty. I got cuts on my elbow, on my leg. I need to like...
You don't want to get infected.
Peroxide or something. That water looks really bad.
James breaks his camera and almost breaks his leg when he falls through a rotten board into some murky floodwater. But luckily, he only suffers from a few minor scrapes that can easily be treated with some antibiotics and a light bandage. Snake in the grass. On the YouTube channel The Paranormal Files, Colin and his girlfriend Peyton explore abandoned and
The Paranormal Files with KoKo
In this video,
Banana.
they were exploring an abandoned bunker in the remote Texas countryside with their friend Hunter.
Everybody's just watching.
About how the area is
Everybody's just
likely
watching
filled
right
with
now.
venomous snakes.
Don't fall on any snakes.
Don't be following on any snakes there, feller.
How can a school be this dilapidated?
But it's obvious that they're a little unnerved by the threat of accidentally stepping on a real snake.
Oh my god.
This is why you should always pay attention to where you walk.
You okay?
No, Nani's there too. Remember, some of the viewers you won't be able to see, even though it says how many people are watching, some of them won't show up on the thing. You can set your private settings for it not to show up that you're watching a video.
Look, look.
Where is
it? Stay really far out this way. Stay really far out this way.
Careful, yo.
I'll tell you guys another scary story in a little bit.
Where?
He's right there.
Of
Look,
where?
Get right here. Here's his head.
Where?
Come here.
Where?
I was standing right there, dude.
Oh, look at this snake.
Where?
I was
right
sitting
in the
right
top.
there.
Hold up, look out, Hunter.
I was literally, my foot was like 2 inches
Yo.
away from right there.
If there's one right there,
Yeah.
there's got to be
Yeah.
others.
That's exactly
Yo. That's why you don't walk.
Yo, let's get out
Oh
of
my
here.
god, we were
Please.
walking right under there.
Peyton is standing by a stone structure when a rattlesnake peeks its head out right.
A rattlesnake is not. Listen, if you ever get.
No one was hurt. But the group is very careful as they make their way back to their car.
You get stung by a rattlesnake,
There's someone behind me in the grass.
Run.
Oh my. Dude, I heard someone behind me in the grass.
you're fucked. Venom is expensive. Venom elixir is expensive as fuck. In case you guys don't know,
This full video and more of their urbex and ghost hunting adventures.
one little vial of venom elixir is close to like $2,000, and you usually need like 8 to 10 vials to take the venom out, and your insurance will not cover that.
Unfortunately, this building is located in one of the worst neighborhoods in Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore.
Although Dan and his friend are pretty scared to be wandering around this building in such a bad neighborhood, everything seems to be going as planned. At least until they are about to leave.
Oh my lord, this is getting interesting. Fuck.
In this final scene here, we're headed back towards the door where we came in, and as I'm grabbing some shots, I hear something that sends a shiver up my spine.
I agree.
And that would be a cell phone going off. The cell phone went off in the doorway where we came in, which means somebody or a group of people were standing there waiting for us.
Somebody's cell phone went off. This is why you don't go and explore places by yourself. Especially being white and you're in a Baltimore area. Come on. Come on. Nothing against white people, but what the fuck? My cell phone goes off by the door. I mean, that's not even creepy. I mean, you're gonna get your shit rocked. You never go to somebody else's backyard and just go chill there and whatnot. And they got out safe. What? 4 more minutes till Dokkan Battle has the new event, or the 5 scary tunnels made by top 5.
Just. There was somebody in here with a cell phone.
Somebody was waiting for them.
Went off and they took off.
Luckily, it seems that whoever was waiting for them ran off when the cell phone revealed their position. Dan and his friend exit and just get out of there.
That's
For
some
Dan Bell's full
bullshit.
video and more Urbex, check out
I've
his
seen Dan
YouTube channel.
Bell's. Yeah, the
This is
event.
Dan
I
Bell.
saw it. I think we already have the event open for
This
us.
week, be sure to
Unless
check
you guys
out
are getting a
Luke's
new one.
Top 5 Facebook page where you can find 2.
Alright, before we watch the next video, I think we've seen that one. 5 scary things caught on the tunnels. I think we've seen that one before, but I'll tell you guys one more scary story, and then we'll probably watch this last video and then call it a day. So remember that story I was telling you guys about what happened at my university when I was younger? And I was gonna tell you guys there was more scary stuff that happened at that university when I was younger and whatnot. So this is another one of those stories that happened there, and it kind of has to do with like stuff that we saw in the building and whatnot. So just to give you guys a quick background about the university, or at least the building where the architecture program used to be before I moved to the new building. So the building is a very, very old structure. It's kind of like a cathedral, and the architecture program is the only one that stays there late at night. And when it's late at night, overnight, obviously the school closes at 5 p.m. No, 8 o'clock for most classes. After that, the only building that stays open is the one we were in, because architecture students stay there overnight working on their projects and whatnot. There's only 2 security guards, one in the front and one in the back of the building. There's no one else in the building with you other than the students that decide to stay there. Now the whole building, which is kind of like a cathedral, is not used by the architecture class or whatever you want to call it, the major. They only utilize the first floor. All the other floors are pretty much empty. There's nobody in there. The cleaning crew comes in at 4 in the morning. That's about it. Nobody else in the building. Nobody else is supposed to be in the building. Pretty much we had the rest of the building for ourselves. The next story I'm about to tell you guys happened around the time where it was late one night. Everybody was gonna take a break. We were all hungry. It was like around 1:30 in the morning. Papa John's was still open at that time. Some of the Papa John's are open 24/7. So we all decided, hey, let's go order some pizza. But in the meantime, why don't we not go and explore the building since we have it for ourselves? Let's go and explore it. You don't think much of it. I was young. This was probably like around 10 years ago or so. You don't think much of it. It's late at night. You haven't gotten any sleep. You've been working on a project for 2 days in a row. No sleep at all. So maybe that might have had something to do with it and whatnot. Again, when you have no sleep, when you deprive yourself from sleep, you may tend to hallucinate and see things that may not be true or not. But at the same time, there is some stuff that I can't explain. And I'm like, you know what? If everybody else saw it, it wasn't just you. What ended up happening next was pretty scary in my point of view. Not one of the scariest moments, but at least in that building, it was one of the scary things that I ended up seeing, and pretty much it still gives me chills to this day. So we decided, let's go all the way to the top. Remember I told you guys in the previous story or video of this that there was like a theater inside of the cathedral, and you know, it's pretty big. And we did end up seeing something in there that one time when I was with that girl. But this time we were with a group of friends. We decided not to go to the theater this time. What we did do is let's go explore towards the roof of the building, and let's see what else they have in here and whatnot. So we ended up all going as a group. It was maybe a group of 15 or 20 students that we went to explore the building. And you know, all you hear is laughter, giggling. We're all having a good time. Nothing thinks anything of it. Obviously, if you're in a large group of friends, you're not gonna see anything. You're not gonna pretty much, you know, you're not gonna think much of it and whatnot. We're all taking pictures. Back then, that was when the selfies were getting popular and whatnot, and we all did you know, we all took pictures here and there. We have not quit Roblox. I just have to remember to do that. I have to remember to do another stream of that. We were all taking pictures in the building and whatnot, and everybody has their cell phones. They have their camera. We're taking pictures. There's no lights. Remember, the lights don't turn on in certain parts of the building because it's late at night, so they only keep the first floor and the basement lit because that's where the students were, to save energy in the building and whatnot. We all decided to go out the window and go hang out on top of the roof. Like literally on top of the roof. This building, this cathedral is high. Like really, I would say like maybe 16 floors. And we're all the way on top of the building, hanging on the tiles of the freaking building. To this point, in retrospect, it was kind of stupid. But we all decided to go through the pictures just to see how they came out and blah, 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 blah. And one of the pictures, we see somebody who we don't recognize. We see somebody who keeps popping out halfway through the pictures like this, and it's a female. It's a female with red lipstick, long wet hair, and they're just like pale eyes, like pale blue eyes, and they're just like looking. So imagine if I'm standing here, right, and somebody next to me just pops up in the photo, and they're just like popping out like this, and they're just staring at the camera. So we saw 5 pictures from different cameras of this person. We didn't want to freak anybody out, and we're like, hey, you know, like we saw something weird on the cameras, on the pictures. Like, do you guys, like, should we start heading down? We have to get back to do our work because we're gonna have a presentation tomorrow. So we don't want to freak anybody out. But for those of us who saw the pictures, we were like, okay, something clearly is not right here, and we have to start going. So we decided to start coming down from the tiles from the roof. We get back inside of the building, and we're like, okay, we're gonna have to start walking down, because the elevator, since the building was so old, the elevator didn't go up to the last floor. It only went up to the 5th floor. So from the 16th floor, we have to start walking down. On our way back down, one of the females screams, and she's like, "Ow! I got you know, scratched on something on our way down. I don't know what the hell it was." So we check her back, and we see 2 scratches on her, like her love handles, and we see 2 scratches there. And no, Nani's probably there in the background too. They're probably not just saying anything. She gets scratched on the side of her body, and what ends up happening is, and does it really matter, Ultra Instinct, who's here, who's not? They ended up getting scratched on the side of her body, and then we're like, okay, what the hell's going on? Like, we didn't think much of it. We thought maybe she got caught in a wire or something coming through the window and whatnot, so we didn't think much of it. Most of the people had gone to go pick up the pizza, so half of the group maybe was cut by 75%. I would say 15 other people that were already downstairs, and they were pretty much getting the pizza, getting everything set up so we can go and eat downstairs and whatnot. So a few of us stayed behind, and we just start walking downstairs. The girl goes to the bathroom, and she pretty much goes to watch her thing on her cut on the side in the bathroom. We can't go in there because it's a female's bathroom, right? So we're like, you know what? Well, you girls go do that. We're gonna go to the male's bathroom to go take a piss. We go to the bathroom to go take a piss and whatnot, and all of a sudden we hear a scream, like ah! And we're like, what the fuck is going on? So we're not thinking anything of it because we just came from the roof having fun. Like, nobody's thinking anything creepy is happening here. We forgot that the building sometimes has creepy stuff going on. The girls rush out of the bathroom. We come out. They look scared as fuck. They don't even like wave with us or hug us. They just push us out the way. They start running down the stairs. We're like, what the fuck is going on? So what ended up happening next, mind you, we haven't had any sleep in 2 days. Whatever the fuck this was in the pictures, we ended up seeing 3 times back to back on our way down. Whatever the fuck it was, we didn't fuck with it again. So we went inside of the bathroom. We turn on the lights so we don't see anything. There's 3 stalls in the bathroom as you go in. Everything was like pretty much straightforward. Like, there's no turns or anything. Everything's straightforward. The stalls are on the left side. There's a big mirror on the right side. It's 3 of us guys, right? The 2 girls left downstairs. All 3 of us start walking in. The first 2 see whatever was around the corner of the stall standing there. The 3rd guy behind us, he didn't see it. So the 2 people in front of us was me and one of the other guys. We walk in, and as we keep approaching, we see the mirror, but we also see the stalls. We start walking in. This thing is in the corner of one of the stalls with the door open. It's a female with a long pinkish, it looked like, I don't know, Victorian robe. The long, slick, black, wet hair. And her face just looked like old and young at the same time. But she had red lipstick and her teeth looked jagged. Like, not pointy, but just jagged. And she's just like looking at the mirror and just standing in the corner like this, going like this. Going like that and just smiling, and she's just like going like this, and she's like shaking and like smiling at the thing. So imagine it's late at night, you see that bullshit, and we're all like, we keep approaching the mirror, right? And we see the thing, we all just pause and we look at the mirror and we look at each other and we're like, what the fuck? We jet out of there. We run. All of a sudden we just hear the giggle and we're like, what the fuck? So we start jetting down the stairs. As soon as we open the door, it's the girl from the picture. It's the girl from the picture. We open the doors to go downstairs. On the flight that leads up, there's no lights. At the flight that leads up, we see her standing there. With water dripping from her body and just smiling and giggling. We run downstairs. How the fuck she went from the bathroom to the flight up the stairs, I don't know. She was there. So we keep running down, and we're like, at this point, we're not even running one by one. We're jumping steps to get to the bottom, to the first floor. We still hear giggling echoing through the stairwell. By the time we get towards the 5th floor, I'm gonna go now. Bye. You got scared, Ultra Instinct? By the time we get downstairs to the other flight, we see her standing on the other side, close to the 5th floor, just standing there and giggling. We keep jetting downstairs. We non-stop. At this point, we don't look anywhere else. We're like, how the fuck she showed up? Bathroom, the floor upstairs, the floor downstairs. We all get back to the 1st floor. We go get pizza, and by that time they just look at us, and they look at the girl that got scratched, and they're like, we saw whatever the hell it is that you saw in the picture. And then we're all just looking at each other, and we all just stood quiet, and we all like, you know what, how do we explain what the fuck we saw? We're like, we just don't go back to the roof again, and you know, let's just not talk about this ever again. We all promised not to bring it up again. Everybody got back to work, and the next morning I was actually glad to be back at my house, and I was actually scared. I actually slept with the lights on that night because I was like, what the fuck was that we saw in that school? That school is haunted. I've been convinced of that, and never again. Like we never went back up to the roof ever again, or visited any of the other floors past that night, because we knew whatever happened, it was gonna keep occurring. Yep. All right, last video of the night, and then we're gonna call it a day.
Scary things caught on camera in a tunnel. The thing in the Risa tunnels.
I think we've seen this one
Risa
before.
was a mysterious plan by the German army to build a series of underground structures in the Al Mountains of Poland during World War II. However, the structures weren't completed, leaving only a strange set of tunnels and caves. The true purpose of these creepy tunnels has never been discovered, because no documentation describing Project Risa has ever been found.
I believe we've seen this one before.
In this video, a group of explorers are trekking through the dark tunnels of Project Risa when they encounter another very bizarre cave explorer.
Oh shit. I think we've seen this one before. Yeah, we have seen this one before. Somebody running through there. Shit. And it's 106 already. Fuck. 106 in Park.
A 4chan user attempted to brighten and stabilize the scary video so that the strange creature could be seen a bit clearer.
Yeah, fuck that. I think we've seen this video before, but that was pretty creepy. Anyways, it's been already an hour and 6 minutes, and it is pretty late where I'm at. I do have to wake up early anyways, but again, I do apologize for the late stream. I hope you guys were able to enjoy this spooky macanonis we had together. Like I said, we are gonna try to keep doing this every Friday to watch, you know, one video. And like I said, just a little variety to add to the channel. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But it's just a little hangout spot that I have, you know, set time aside every Friday for you guys to come through and whatnot. I have not forgotten about the Vine and meme videos that we do randomly throughout the week, so I'll try to have one next week as well. But I think this is good for tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed my stories and whatnot. I have plenty of scary stories that have happened. I don't know, like I said, a whole bunch of scary stuff has happened to me. Yeah, it's been already an hour and 7 minutes, and I do have to wake up early. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed that previous story. I don't know if you got to hear Nani the story I told not too long ago. But we're gonna leave it there for now. If anything, tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow we do have the Jump Force demo, so I'll try to get home early after work and at least do an hour or two of that Jump Force demo and whatnot. I believe it's 4 hours, but I should be able to get back just in time to do an hour or two. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted when I go live and whatnot. And if you're already subscribed, you know what to do, my boys. Hit that like button if you want to support my channel. Alright, anyways, this is Kakaroto, aka KoKo, logging off. I'll see you guys on the next stream. And thank you for coming through. As always, it is appreciated. I'm gonna leave you guys with the outro. Sleep tight, and again, it's just stories. Don't be scared. Don't let the cocoa bananas bite you in the booty, alright? Have a good night, my boys. Peace. Make sure you close the windows and let the little boys with the black eyes come in.